1 second. Trying to flip this camera. It's been a while since I used Periscope. Hello! How's everybody doing? I'm using Periscope because I want to upload this video to YouTube. I'm having problems with my laptop right now and can't quite figure it out on my phone. And first of all, I want to say thank you so much for checking in. I'm currently in Gatineau, Quebec, which is like Ottawa is like right on the other side, and Ottawa being essentially the first place in Ontario that I'm going to be visiting. I drove through Ontario for about a kilometer and a half, and I ended up in Hawkesbury, and I went a little bit more north because I wanted to take the Highway 50 in Quebec to get to Gatineau and then to get to Ottawa because it's a much nicer ride than the 417, which I've taken so many times. 417 is definitely a faster route. 50 is almost as fast, and it's a lot nicer. So, anyways, guys, I wanted to talk to you guys today about how to build a wall, and this sparks an interest in something that I have seen in the past, which is a video that was it was basically an interview of Will Smith. I forget who was interviewing him. And he says in this interview that when he was younger, him and his brother got punished for doing something. And his father told him that he and his brother had to build a wall in order to make up for, it was just their form of punishment. So, this is kind of like in the army when guys in the army, they mess up or they do something and then they get punished by doing some sandbagging, and they got to make like a huge pyramid out of a bunch of sandbags. And so this particular video, Will Smith says that he learned a powerful lesson from this form of punishment. He says, you don't go out to build the meanest, biggest, baddest wall that there ever was, even if that is the intention. You don't go out with that kind of mentality. You go out into whatever task that it is. Let's say it's the wall, and you say, I'm going to take this brick, and watch this, I'm going to take this brick and I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. And I'm going to keep doing that with a bunch of other bricks, and soon I will have a wall. And this sparks my interest to share this message with you because my last host, my last few hosts, my first host in Quebec City, which was my cousin Gilbert, and my previous host before the one I'm at now, host number 25, his name was Yoan. And Yoan said that he was telling me how he's a bricklayer. And when I was with Gilbert, my cousin, I was explaining this concept to him that what Will Smith was talking about in the interview. And Yoan is a bricklayer. So I was telling Yoan that, explaining to him that, he's got a purpose and all this kind of stuff. And he was sharing some pretty cool stuff with me too. And I said to Yoan the same thing that I said to Gilbert. I was like, it's really funny that there's no such thing. Like, what do bricklayers do? What do bricklayers do? Some people would say that they build walls. Others would say that they lay bricks. It's all a matter of perspective. But I think it's so interesting that there's no such job, at least not that I've heard of, called wall builder. Like, have you ever heard of a wall builder before? I've never heard of a wall builder before. But there's this thing called a bricklayer. Right? We take one step at a time. One step at a time. First step, we lay the brick. And then there's like, I think it's called a slab or something, and it's like a wet form of concrete. I don't know my stuff, guys. I'm not a green thumb. I'm not even close to, let alone a bricklayer. But then You got to get the stuff, the solution to kind of like hold it all together. And then you move on to the next step and the next step and the next step. And then we're going to have a wall. And I think the same is true for my trip as I backpack across Canada. And some people might call it hitchhiking across Canada. Some people might call it traveling across Canada. I don't know. But let's use the example of hitchhiking across Canada, okay? Because I've come pretty far. I'm about 1/3 done this country. 1/3 done. I don't know how you perceive it. But when I look at the distance, I'm about 1/3 of the way to Victoria, BC. So let's use that example. You don't hitchhike across the country. You don't set out and say, I'm going to hitchhike across Canada. Even though I've said that before, I'm going to own that and say, I have said that before. And what I'm learning now is that I want to stop sometimes. I want to take a moment to just breathe and see the landscape around me. And not only the landscape around me, enjoy my time with the people that I'm with, that I'm spending time with. Quality time. You see, just because you spend 10 minutes with me doesn't necessarily mean that you're spending 10 minutes with me, that you're investing 10 minutes with me. Because there could be somebody else spending only 2 minutes with me. But I get a lot more out of them than I get a lot more out of somebody that's just sitting there for 10 minutes. Quality time. Anyways, let's get back on track here. Hitchhiking across Canada. I don't wake up with the idea every day that I'm going to get to Victoria. I think about Victoria every single day, like as if Victoria is my girlfriend, you know? But I think about Victoria, BC in a way where it's like, okay, I'm going that way. That's the direction I'm going, but what matters is where I am now. I'm in Gatineau, Quebec. Ottawa is just on the other side. Today, I repaired my cousin's bicycle, and I'm going to take the bike right after this video pretty much. I'm going to have a quick bite to eat, and I'm going to head down some bike trails, maybe take some pictures in the city and stuff like that. And that's what I want to do today, because that's where I am. And I want to enjoy my environment. I want to get to know my environment. If you ever host me at some point in the future, don't be surprised if I walk into your house and I start looking around as if I'm about to steal something. And the reason why I do that is because I want to get to know my environment. I want to get to know where I am. So don't freak out, okay? I'm just looking around. I'm just scanning my environment. I want to see what I'm working with here. Without any intention of anything else. That is the intention. So I don't set out to hitchhike across Canada. I set out to hitchhike from St. John's to Holyrood. And then what happened was from Holyrood, I actually ended up going back to St. John's because I found a ride to go across the country. And then I go from St. John's to Springdale. And then from Springdale, I wake up with the intention of, okay, I'm going to Corner Brook today. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I know that if I get one ride, it would take me 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours to get from Springdale to Corner Brook. And then maybe I'll throw in an extra half an hour or an hour of time in order for me to get there because I don't know how long I could be waiting for. Like the day that I finally left Quebec City, it took me 6 rides to get out. It took me all day to hitchhike from Quebec City to Montreal. Probably one of the biggest challenges I've had to face so far is getting onto the Highway 40 from Quebec City to Montreal. But I don't set out to hitchhike. Like that day, I didn't wake up and say, okay, I'm going to hold a sign that says Vancouver or Victoria. And sometimes I do hold signs of places that I'm not going per se, but places that I'm gonna that are in the general direction of where I want to go. Because if I'm going to a small town, I don't want to let people know I'm going to a small town because they may not know the name of the small town that's written on the sign. Like, for example, when I was in Bedford, Nova Scotia, which is just a little bit north of Halifax, I had a sign that said Digby, but I wasn't going to Digby, at least not yet. I was going to Kingston, Nova Scotia. I don't hitchhike. I don't set out to hitchhike across Canada. I'm setting out to hitchhike from where was I? From Montreal to Ottawa. Without any expectation of actually being there that day. Because I could have made it to Ottawa 2 days ago. And I made a conscious decision that I was going to stay the night somewhere. Because someone had picked me up. And they seemed like a cool guy. And we laughed. And we chilled out together. And he introduced me to his family. And I decided to stay. And I think that can say something a lot about intention, which may actually be something that's for another video. Because that was a hard decision to make, especially after all the lessons that I've learned so far about setting an intention and sticking to it. And sticking to it, that was a hard decision to make. I don't want you guys to leave this video and say, I'm going to write a book. I want you to leave this video and say, I'm going to write a chapter. Or even less than that, I'm going to write down the title for one of my chapters. Or even less than that, I'm going to create a spider web, I forget what it's called, a mind map of what kind of stuff that I may be interested in writing about. You don't have to get it right the first time. You don't have to make it perfect, because it is perfect. It already is perfect. The fact that you can get a piece of paper out and a pen or a pencil and start writing down, making a mind map of what you want your book or your business or your idea or your creation or your invention or whatever to be about, who you want to help, how you want to help people, how you want to market it. You don't have to know all the answers. Just start. Just start with something. Start with something in the middle of the page. And you know what? If you're really stuck on, okay, what do I want a mind map about? What do I want to put around the middle of this page? Start with something like this. Start with your idea of markbrajak.com. Start with johnsmith.com. Start with what is it? JaneDoe.com. Start with yourname.com. Put that in the middle of the page. And then I want you to say, okay, universe, I'm open to receiving all of your blessings. I'm open to receiving all of the ideas that come to my head, whether they are right or wrong. I'm open. And just write, man. Like, literally, go out and take a pen and get a blank sheet of paper and right in the middle, put your name and put .com and say, okay, if I had a website, if I had a blog and I named it after myself, what would I write about? What am I passionate about? Who are the kind of people that I want to help? And just start making something. You don't set out to build a website. This isn't why I'm asking you to do this. I'm not asking you to build a website. I'm not even asking you to create a mind map. I am asking you to create a mind map, but I'm not really asking you to create a mind map. I'm asking you to explore and to search deep within for at least a gem. One gem. If you can get one golden nugget out of this kind of exercise, ask yourself, would it be worth it? Would it have been worth my time? And if you didn't get a golden nugget, here's my message to you. You gotta look deeper at what you're creating. Because just the fact that you created all whatever kind of mind map it is, whether you think it looks like crap or whether you think it looks beautiful. That is the golden nugget. Especially if it looks like crap. Because then you can say, okay, this is my life right now. Even if you write something down and you say, okay, johnsmith.com, completely drawing a blank. Good. That is awesome. You know why? Because that means that you are you're saying to the universe the sense of awareness. You're speaking that sense of awareness into the universe, saying, "Okay, universe, I got nothing." And you're admitting that, and you're like, no, like, I don't know if you've ever felt this way. I've felt it. I felt a sense of me before that's like I'm losing my self-worth. Like, I don't have anything to offer. There's nothing special about me. I've felt that before, and it sucks. And you know what? I can guarantee you, maybe I'm not willing to guarantee that, because I can only speak from my own experience. I promise you that this happened. That when I feel like crap, when I feel like I'm not worthy of something, and I speak it into existence, the pain is so temporary. It's like, it's not even pain. It's almost as if the pain is like slowly starting to crumble, and there's this feeling of like the ice has been broken. I don't know if you've ever felt that before. You know, when you're speaking with someone that you've just met, whether it's a girl or a guy, a friend, a foe, maybe a family member, and whether you've met them before or this is maybe something completely new, and then you say something and the ice has been broken. And I really believe that's the key. That's why awareness is so important. Like, it really just gets me going when people are so stuck in their way of thinking that they're so afraid to admit something like, oh, I'm not a bad listener. Oh, I'm not a bad listener at all. I'm not a bad listener. No, I'm not a bad listener. But they are, though. It's like, you know that they are. Like, it's almost as if it's a fact that they're a bad listener. Guys, I consider myself a great listener. And because every master was once a disaster, I've also felt like a poor listener before. But I didn't start to become a great listener until I admitted that I suck at listening. And that's the message that I want you guys to understand here, is to create something. Do something. Do something with your life. Just do something awesome. Whether you end up making a ton of money at it, or you don't even make a dime out of it. You don't even make a penny out of it. Do something awesome. Do something that you're so passionate about that you can't stop thinking about it. Like, every single day you wake up and before you go to bed at night, you think about that thing. Do that every single day, guys. I have 10% battery left in my phone. But I want you guys to just do something that you love to do. JaneDoe.com, johnsmith.com. Take out a piece of paper right now, right after this video, and just write down something. Write down what you're passionate about. I don't know what you're passionate about, but write down something. And maybe it's not even going to be a website. The idea of a website. Because I know I've met people on the way and they're like, I wouldn't want to have a blog ever. Almost as if maybe they're not worthy of a blog, or maybe they just don't feel like it's part of their heart values, that they just genuinely do not want to have a blog. But I believe that there's a creativity in every single one of us, whether it comes in the form of a movie, in music, in writing, a website, I don't know. There's something creative about every single one of us. But just for a moment, just pretend and just say, okay, johnsmith.com. Okay, what would my website be about? What am I passionate about? Start creating something, because then, like I said, maybe the idea for something else other than a website could come to you. You see, I don't hitchhike across the country. I don't plan to hitchhike across the country. I am hitchhiking across the country, but I'm hitchhiking from this place to this place, and I'll spend 1 or 2 nights there. And then I hitchhike from this place to this place, and I'll spend 1 or 2 nights there. And I continue that until I get all the way to the end, until I'm ready to come home and live my normal life. My normal life. And then once I'm done, imagine that there's my other hand is coming closer together, okay? Because I got one hand on the selfie stick right now. But once it's all done, then, in a nutshell, I will have hitchhiked across the country. And that's the message that I want to share with you guys today. Take it one step at a time. And once we have all the steps, what is it, like 13 or 15 steps on a staircase? You don't set out to climb a staircase. You say, I'm going to take this step, then I'm going to take this step, then I'm going to take this step, and then you will have hit the top of the staircase. Guys, thank you so much for checking in. Thank you for watching this video. I love you guys. Hope you guys have learned something. Have an amazing, awesome day. And until next time, live joyfully. Peace.